Important news coming out of Venezuela. The Venezuelan government has given U.S. diplomatic staff 72 hours to leave the country beginning at 0 hour on Tuesday. Now, the government alleges that the remaining diplomatic staff inside the country have been contributing to much of the destabilization that the country has been facing, and that they've been cooperating with terrorist forces inside the country. The foreign minister, Jorge Arreza, said that the presence of the American diplomat entails risks to the country's peace, integrity, and stability. He accused the U.S. of threatening the nation with military intervention and saying that officials in Washington have systematically lied to the world regarding Venezuelan reality. Now, once the deadline for their removal was issued, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo gave his own evacuation order and told the diplomatic staff that they had a week to leave, which was clearly done as a measure to irk the Venezuelan government. And very clearly, if they don't leave within 72 hours, they'll be arrested. And then, of course, the U.S. will then turn around and claim that people are being persecuted by the Venezuelan government in that situation, even though very clearly they were told to leave within a certain amount of time, and yet they were ordered by their bosses in Washington to deliberately violate that. This seems like another, essentially, a false flag operation that the U.S. is trying to perpetuate in this situation. This demand to leave comes after a major blackout in the country occurred as a result of a cyber attack believed to have been carried out by Israel. The U.S.-funded Canvas organization that trained Juan Guaido and his allies produced a 2010 memo on exploiting electricity outages and urged the opposition to take advantage of the situation towards their needs. It is the Venezuelan government who alleges that Israel was behind the cyber attack, and they also state that there have been 2 such attacks since the initial one. It seems very obvious to me that the hostilities between Venezuela and the United States are reaching a new stage. The attempted overthrow of the government using Juan Guaido as a puppet leader has essentially failed. He promised the United States that he could get half the military to defect, and in essence, the amount was 0.1% of the military. In other words, a statistically insignificant number. Now, because this has failed, the attempt to destabilize the sanctions have failed, the blackout has failed, the creating a fake leader has failed. Every effort thus far to overthrow the Venezuelan government has failed. So it seems like there's going to be a new new strategy coming up. I mean, this one has just failed, so we know another one is coming, and many people fear that it will be an actual military invasion of the country. And this is it's very likely that something where this could happen, given the fact that the United States has a very long imperialist history. But the actual invasion of the country might be very, very difficult because much of the military equipment used by Venezuela is up to date, which they've purchased not just from China, but mainly Russia as well. Their soldiers are very highly trained. They have received a ton of advice and training from the Russian government, so they are definitely prepared, both on a technological and training front, to deal with an invasion of the country, presumably from Colombia, and the alleged 5,000 troops that the National Security Advisor John Bolton suggested that be placed inside of Colombia. So I think this signals a new stage in those hostilities, and we could be looking at a military invasion of the country sometime very soon. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.